Note with flowers, bougainvillea. More irises are opening up every day, and today the first clematis flower is there. The beautiful birds of paradise and some other type of iris there. So, American Embassy in the Rat story. The American Embassy played a crucial role, uh, and its people. And without the Americans, from the embassy, from USA, the Peace Corps, other agencies and businesses around here, I wouldn't be where I am. It's true. There's another thing to wonder. I did wonder at one point uh, what would have happened in case I became a geophysician. I mean, I'm graduated. I was sent to Drobeta Tumusabarin. I received a piece of paper saying I have a job there. But since it was already after the revolution, maybe fortunately, we'll never know. I decided not to go. I was involved with uh, the media. I mentioned earlier. I met someone from Time magazine, then from Newsweek, Michael Myers from Newsweek, uh, Jim Wilde from Time magazine, James Wilde, Jim. Wait, Radio Sweden, Christina Nylander, and they were good paying jobs. Then tours, the hospitality business as they call it today. But it's a question of a few months. Uh, had I finished before the revolution, dă-te jos de acolo. Dă-te. He will destroy this whole thing. Termină. Dă-te jos. Dă-te jos, am zis. And if he escapes, it's a disaster because he's been out 5 times last year. I don't know. That's why this, and he ends up in a tall tree, and he wouldn't get down until it becomes really. It gets dark. He doesn't like it. Starts shouting that all the neighborhood is alarmed, and it's hell to bring him down. There's another point some people make. Why not let him in the jungle and these are for the jungle? Well, maybe. On the other hand, I recommend passages from Life of Pi. I don't like the book on the whole, but there's some passages we talk about this misconception, as it's called there. I mean, they say, okay, animals like the jungle, like the wild, and they don't like the zoo. If it's a small cage, if it's a bad thing, if it's what I've seen on in the cove, which I will note on tomorrow, with dolphins in a swimming pool and having to live in their own excrements and that terrible situations like that, or the caged bears in China where they can't even move and they just use the bladder. They just take because they have the stupid Chinese belief that not all the Chinese, some people in other places, and they use the bladder and they will live forever and they will have erections and whatever. Um, that's surely a disaster and a case of cruelty and stupidity and heinous, abject, whatever, all the bad words for that. On the other hand, if the animals have a good environment, they like being fed and not having to fight in the wild for food and having to be scared. They like being protected. So that's the point being made there. And I tend to agree with that. And these guys, who's to say? I mean, I don't know about their psychology. They would love being in flight in the jungles of North America, having to look. Here they get scared. Very often they see a shadow and I don't know about that. Maybe they live all the time in terror. That would look at that eagle, big bird, whatever that would be, vulture is going to get me, and at times definitely they will. Or if it's better here. Hmm? Well, I think it is. So there will be time to talk about the American embassy. I tried to today, but he wouldn't let me. He is a huge part of my life today. I don't have friends except for him. Well, I meet and talk with people at the pool, and that starts the day after tomorrow. We had 2 weeks of holiday, and that's why we've been together for a long time here. For Monday, he would change arrangements. The spouse will be with them, and she's not bringing them out here, and they will spend less time around the house than with me. But there it is. Anyway, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays will still be my days, and we'll be out for a long time. And while on holiday, which is I don't know about 100 days a year, maybe more, we stay together almost all the time, from morning till evening. He gets 1 hour to sleep because there's a lot. We get tired, and then I have to take a shower during the day, not just late at night. So it works both ways. But otherwise, I go and write my notes on Goodreads and see a good movie. But we see it together. Hmm? Papa, you may be hungry. Okay. So this was supposed to be a note on things that happened in history, so to say, but it turned out to be a more of a diary note. What we do today, me, Balzac, and Irene, me, myself, and Irene, and Puccini. Puccini is the other friend.